Hello everyone. Today I'm gonna explain the HackerRank SQL Solutions problem named Contest Leaderboard. So let's see the problem first together. So what we have to do, we have to print the first column of the hacker ID, name, and total score of the hackers order by the descending order. So this is the first ordering condition. And if the same total score, we're gonna have to do hacker ID ascending ID. So this is the second order condition. And there's also other option, exclude all hackers with the total score of, this is 0, sorry for missing. This is 0 from your result. So we have to exclude the 0 from our result. So this is the other condition that we have to make. And yep. So let's see the examples together. For example, let's see. First, there is hacker ID name rows. So we can find hacker ID. Let me see to find the 4071. Here we are, 4071, 4071, 4071. So we have to print 4071, and we have to print there's rows like this. 471 rows, and there is also the scores of each column, 95, 43, 96. So what we gonna do in here, we have to print the maximum number of the score of all contests. So for example, in same challenge challenge ID, for example, like this one and this one. This is challenge ID is 49593. So this is the same, but we're gonna exclude the minimum and we're gonna select the maximum of this score and this score. So 95 plus 97 is 191. So this is the result of sample output. So that's how we have to work. So let's thinking together about how to solve it, this question. So the question is, first, how, I think the key point is how are we gonna select max score? So I'm gonna show you guys how to select. We just do it max. We're gonna use group by first. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna group by hacker ID, and we're gonna group by challenge ID, because you know submission ID is, I think, is unique, but hacker ID and challenge ID can be duplicated, because one hacker can submit the one hacker can challenge on the challenge multiple times. So we're gonna group by this one and this one like this. And we're gonna also use the max function from the score so that we can find the max score. And then we're gonna do inner join on this hackers table, inner join hackers table, and we're gonna use sum so that we can make the total scores like 95, 96, 1 is 191, like this. So let's write a query together on the screen. Let's move on. So let's write a query together. So what we have to do first, I'm gonna group by first, group by, and I'm gonna select the max score of each challenge, if challenge. So let's write a query together. So select from, we're gonna use a submission table first, submission tables like this, and we're gonna use the group by. We're gonna do the group by, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna group by hacker ID and the challenge ID, and also we're gonna use aggregate function max to select the max score. So we're gonna do hacker ID, and let me check challenge ID, and we're gonna use it in also in here in select. We're gonna make it more prettier like this, and we're gonna use max function on the score as I'm gonna call it max score. Yeah, max score. So let me check together what's gonna happen. Wait a second. Yeah, as you can see in here, so there is a hacker ID and also there is challenge ID, and we selected the max score of the whole this table. So yeah, that's the end of the first step. And second step is we're gonna do the sum. We're gonna do the sum aggregate function using the subquery. Subquery. We're gonna use it. So let me do it together. So what we're gonna do? First, also we're gonna do inner join, and then we're gonna use sum aggregate function using subquery. So what we're gonna do? I'm gonna do select. Okay, from I'm gonna use subquery here. Why I'm using the subquery? We're gonna do the inner join, use join. So like this, we're gonna call it subquery, like name, and I'm gonna do inner join on this hackers table, and the join key gonna be hacker ID. So I'm gonna do inner join hackers. I'm gonna call it H, and I'm gonna do sub dot hacker ID, and also H dot hacker ID. So, and let's see what's the result first, if it works. As you can see, so this is the I think this is the hacker ID and challenge ID in the score, and this is also hacker ID, and this is the name of the hackers. So as you can see, join is successful. And what we're gonna print, we have to print hacker ID and name, and also the sum of the scores. So we're gonna also do group by, because we have to use some aggregate function. So we're gonna do sub.hacker ID, and we're gonna print h.name. So I'm gonna also use it in here. Okay, and I'm gonna use this score on maybe on max score. Yeah, we call it. So I'm gonna call it this as total score. So let me check. So this is the whole total score of it, but be careful, we have to exclude of the 0 total score. So how are we gonna do it? We're gonna in this query, if we want to exclude on group, if we use the group by, if you want to do the excluded, what we're gonna do, we can use having. We can use condition by having, and we're gonna do having total score is not a 0, and we're gonna also order by. So we're gonna order by, the condition was we're gonna order by the hacker ID. We're gonna order by the total score in descending order, and we're gonna have to do it hacker ID ASC. So we're gonna do total score DESC, and we're gonna do sub.hacker_ID ASC. If you want to do it, you can also add it. If you want to make sure, you can write it like this. So let's run the code. Yeah, the test case is successfully passed, and I'm gonna submit the code. Successfully submitted. So I'm gonna explain the key points of this whole problems, and I'm gonna finish these videos. So let's move on to the key points. Yep, so I'm gonna organize the key point. We can summarize the key point in 3 ways. First, like this, 1, 2, 3. So first, how are we gonna make the max score? So what we did was, so I'm gonna write how are we gonna make the max score by hacker hacker ID and challenge ID. So what we used was, we used group by hacker ID and challenge ID, and we used max aggregate function to find the max score of each challenge. And second one is, how are we gonna do the print the name and also calculate the sum of the score? What we did inner join. I'm gonna write it down. How are we gonna do a sum, make the total score and print the name. What we did first do the inner join by key was hacker ID, and we're gonna get the name of the hackers. And second, we did some aggregate function of by each max score. So that's the point we did. And the third one was, how we gonna exclude the total score that is 0. So what we did, we used also group by. On that, we want to make the condition, we use having clause, and that is, we did total score is not 0. So we can left only the total score that is not 0. So I think this is the whole point of this problem, and thank you for listening, guys. Thank you for watching this video.